Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa Galloway and this is Beauty from Inside and Out, and we're going to do a part 2 to our eyeshadows for the fall. I've picked out 3 groupings that'll kind of take you into even November, starting with this month of September, and how to place them, how they looked good together. So if it sounds like something that you're just trying to figure out how to do your next eyeshadow look, now that we're going into the season of just gatherings and all kinds of little parties here and there, and you want to do something a little different, keep watching.
If you're here, then you woke up today, and that is a blessing. Don't take that for granted. Don't waste it.
All right, so as you can see, I have one eye that's done, and the other one, I'll show you how I created it. So this first grouping is, I think, a perfect combination of like just getting into the season, right? We have the leaves that are just now turning orange, like that deep orange, and this first shade that I have in my crease and above the crease is called Tangerine. So it's a perfect color to do like your base eye. Love this color for now for the fall, just kind of getting into the season. This next shade that I used on my lid, it's actually the shade of the month for Seint Eyeshadow, and it's called Ring. Love this shade. You can use it like a very light-handed to brighten the eye. I actually use like my finger to add a little bit more of that grayish tone. Looks nice, the combination of like a cool color with that warm color. And so I applied that one on the lid, okay? And then the last shade that I used on the brow bone and kind of like in the inner duck of my eye is this light one called Cupcake. This was the one that I mentioned last week, which is kind of like that transitional shade that looks like a typical powder look, right? So here is like my first 3 grouping, and I have like my tile cleaner where when I'm finished using one shade, I can just clean my tile and go into my next one. But this is like my first eye, and again, all I did was just use the one shade, and I'm going to put it here on my arm. Let's start down here because I'm going to have 2 other groupings to show you. So this one is Tangerine, right in the crease of my eye, and then can you see that? And then above the crease. And then the next one is that shade, which is called Ring, and place that one on the lid. And then of course we have Cupcake, and Cupcake I think is just one of those colors that really you can have in your palette at all times because it'll go good with any combination. So really pretty, kind of like the start of just getting into the fall season. So that's the first grouping. So that would be, like I say, you can use pretty much all of this month of September, and you can darken this, lighten it, and it'll look completely different depending on the amount that you're putting on. Okay, so let's go on to the next grouping, and then I'll do that eye on this side. Well, I'm gonna look a little funky, but I'm really not going anywhere else for the rest of the day, so that's okay. So let's go with this eye. Now this combination of 3, I say it's good like to go into the month of October, where our colors are getting a little more deeper, a little not quite as red just yet. Again, it's just like getting into October, but I've got this one shade here that's called Butterscotch. So if you look at in comparison to this first one that I applied, this one has got like that very start off of orange, but now we're going in a little bit deeper. So let's get this one in the crease of my eye as well as over the eye. And when you see this in both comparison, you'll see that they look similar. Again, it depends on how much you keep adding on. So I am putting it in the crease and then just brushing some on that brow bone so that when my eye is open, you're actually seeing the color on your lid. So let's get that on. And then I take that same color, which I really love to do, is just bring it down to my lower lid as a liner. I flip my brush because I don't like to use like the black harsher line. I think this just opens the eye and just gives the eye a lot more of a softer look than, I think as you're aging, for me personally, I think this is totally my opinion, your eyes, you want them to look brighter. The brighter they look, the more awake they look, the more just alive they look. And I think there's a place and time for like darker liners, but I think you can still get a really pretty, even sexy eye look by just using lighter tones. So that's what I do. So now I've got a butterscotch on that first shade, and then we're going in with this gorgeous color, and this one's called Gold Digger. So let's get Gold Digger. I like to use my finger because I think I can get that on and make it and give it the pop that I really want. But let me start off by brushing it on lightly with this fluffy end brush so you can see how it looks like as I'm applying it. If I dust it on, you can see how light-handed that is. And if that's your choice, you can keep it like that. But if I take that color that I just placed on my finger on the lid, it just gives it more of like a shimmer look. And again, shimmers on the eyes, do not be afraid of that if you feel like your eyes are aging, because it all depends on where you're placing it. If you put it inside of any area of your eyes that have a lot of texture, or just a lot more wrinkles, then it may be a little touch and go as far as aging you more. But if you keep it on the lid and your lid does not have a lot of texture on it, then I think you're good. But look how pretty, guys, that color is. Oh, and this combination is just mwah. So I have those two shades, and then my last one I'm going in with Drift. So Drift, in comparison to Cupcake, this is like more of a finishing like base, and this one has a tiny bit, it's brighter than Cupcake. And again, this one's called Drift. So let me add that on with my brush. And this brush you can also get on my site below. It's called the multitasker brush. I love it so much. But look how pretty, guys, that looks. It looks so nice. Again, in the comparison, you already see this is a brighter, just getting started into the fall. And then now we're going just a little touch of that darker, more richer gold, and that tone that's a little bit more deeper in orange, right? So I like to put this color also on my tear duct on this side. And look how pretty that is, guys. Again, you want to get any of these shades, you can just shop them on the link below with Seint. It says Seint Shop. And if you're looking at other shades and you are not sure what they look like and you want me to swatch them, just let me know in the comments below. So let's get this on my arm, okay? Here is the first one, which was that Sedona, right? The one that was in the crease. So here is Sedona. And if you look at that in comparison to that first one, this has got a much more darker orange. This is brighter. Then my favorite, which is Gold Digger. Let's put this one just above Sedona. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Isn't that amazing, that color? I think this color is beautiful for now the fall, but man, anytime you want to kind of just dress up your eye, that one is a beautiful one to have. And then of course we've got Drift. So we're adding Drift here. And you can see that this is Drift and this is Cupcake. Much more subtle, and this one's got more of a pop to that brightness. Can really see it obviously when I'm comparing it on both eyes. So gorgeous, two different groupings. Okay, so here's that second grouping. We have here Sedona, no, Butterscotch, I'm sorry guys, Butterscotch, Gold Digger, and then of course Drift. So let's do our final one. Now this is gonna be, and that's gonna be about October, but now we're gonna go into November. So clearly by now it's Thanksgiving time, and the colors are definitely getting ready for the winter, right? It's like they have reached, I think, that very red, kind of musty, dark orange. And this is, I think, a nice color to just even keep it for the rest of the winter months. It's just gorgeous. And the names are just as fun. So this time I'm not gonna clearly put it on my lid, but let me go ahead and show them as a swatch. This first one is the one that you would put in your crease and above, and this one's called Sedona. So this one that I just did before on my eye is called Butterscotch. Okay, this is Butterscotch, which is that deeper orange. Now we're going much more darker in warmth, not really so much as a brown, but a deeper orange brown. So it's not quite brown. It looks like it is, but it's not. So let's swatch this one. This one is Sedona. It has got like a almost coolness to the brown. And the reason I chose this one is because the other two I've chosen are definitely warmer in tone. And I like to have a combination of like a cool versus a warmth. Just like in this eye with that color on the lid, which is the color of the month of Ring. Very, very cool color. But when you pull in a warm color with it, it just really makes a statement. If you look at both of these, although this one here, because I personally just love warm colors, has more of an inviting warmth to me, for me, but you shouldn't be afraid to mix and match your cool colors with your warm colors, because it all depends on which one you're using. So going back to Sedona, Sedona has a smidge of coolness in here, okay? So that would be, again, the color in the crease and then above. Then I'm gonna go in with this color, which is Hot Chocolate. And this has got the same texture as this one here, which is the Gold Digger, but it's brown, clearly. Let me show you how this looks. So this is the one that's gonna go on the lid. Isn't that pretty, guys? Just the combination with those two are so nice. But watch what happens when I throw in this third shade. That typically is the one that I would go on the brow bone, but remember, we're now into December and we really want to bring in those richer kind of red tones. You know how like the leaves, before they end up just becoming real dried, they hit that high red shade. This is a pop of one that's called Holly. Gorgeous color, very, very warm. So let me show you this one above this one, which is Hot Chocolate. Look at Holly. You've got your red in there. This combination is gorgeous, but we're not wearing this on the brow. What I would do with this color here in doing the combination is that I'm going to keep it on the outer part of my lid. So Hot Chocolate would go on the lid, and then you use Holly to kind of like just with your brush, and take a brush that you can pick up enough of your powder. This side is very domed and it's not as loose as this one, so it picks up quite a bit. and you're able to just kind of like corner it out over some of that hot chocolate, okay? And kind of like create a elongated eye to give yourself a little bit of that smoky eye. So nice. And instead of bringing hot chocolate, which is or rather, you can bring either Sedona down onto your bottom lid, or use this last color to bring in a little bit of that red warmth undertone. And then you can use whichever powder you have to put on your lid to give it a complete look, right? Remember, like I said, Cupcake is a great one to have to do that for that transitional color. Or if you have like a loose powder or any kind of powder, you can put that on your brow bone lid to kind of finish the look of your eyeshadow look. So guys, that is kind of like some 3 suggestions for grouping your own personal palette for the fall, right? This is that last one. Look at that combination. It's just gorgeous, right? You have your hot chocolate, and then the first shade that goes into your crease, which I said it was Sedona, and then Holly, okay? But such pretty combinations, guys, all for the fall now coming in, and you can choose even different ones and create your own. But I just wanted to give you some suggestions on kind of like be able to create your own palette. Like, why, as I mentioned in the first part from last week's video, go out and pick up a palette that maybe you're really liking 2 or 3 of those shades, and then you're tossing the rest, right? Because you don't even get into them. Like, choose and pick the ones that you really want and know that you're going to use for the next 2 or 3 months, and create your own palette and have something that you can have either enough space to add more. They're magnetic. They are actually bigger in size than even the shades, the shadows that come in the actual eyeshadow palettes. So I'm here to help you. If you need if you have any questions and you need any help, leave it in the comment, and I will work with you with any color matchings that you need for your eyeshadows or for your makeup. And I'm glad that I was able to bring this to you. Hopefully it'll be of some help. And until next week, guys, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on my next week's video. Bye.